At the beginning of the film, as the gods will, a character named Shun is shown. He'd had enough of his life because he was living a mundane existence. He goes to school and returns home on a regular basis. It was his entire life. There was nothing going on in his life. He was ill as a result of his monotonous existence. He used to play video games at home when he was on vacation from school. It was a source of pleasure for him, but he was becoming increasingly irritated. He prays to the Creator because he is fed up. He exclaims, "How boring life is. What if every human being's life was as enjoyable as a game?" And he amuses it the same way he amuses it in the games. When Shun instructor enters the classroom the next day, his head explodes. Darumadal is the result of this. It is an extremely dangerous Darumadal that was pathetically ending every pupil in the class, who were the ones who were shifting their positions. Shun thinks Creator has granted his wish after witnessing it. However, he is unhappy because he did not wish for this calamity. He is dissatisfied with his current situation because several of his classmates had been horribly murdered. That Darumadal sings a little song and takes a round. During this period, the blood veins of the students who moved were burst, and he was painfully dead. Darumadal did it. There's no doubt about that. The only thing in the class was blood. All of the pupils in the class are shocked and begin shouting when they see it. Darumadal then begins to put an end to them one by one. Shun's pal then refers to it as a death game. They must win, and they have no need to be fearful. As he says it, he points to the fixed button on the back of Daruma's doll. They're acting as if they'll be able to survive while pressing it. When a pupil hears it, he or she rushes forward to press the button. He is frowned upon by Darumadal. As a result of the explosion in his skull, he is dead. Shun then informs them that the button also serves as a timer and that they only have 1 minute remaining. If they do not take action within this time frame, they will all perish. When they hear it, all of the students become agitated once more. They wander away from their original location, perplexed. Darumadal takes a chance and starts ending them one by one, and he sends them to their deaths in a horrible manner. Shun and his companion were the only two survivors at this point. They were stuck in their jobs because they were bored. Shun's pal informs him, "We only have 30 seconds left. Make it happen. While jumping and putting your foot on me, press the button." They are both capable of surviving in this state. Shun, on the other hand, was not so bold. Despite this, he agrees with him while keeping track of the time. He drops Darumadal by pressing the button on it. They are both delighted as they dump Darumadal. They were victorious in their game. Shun's companion, however, is Darumadal. Shun is told, "I will murder everyone except you because you pressed this button." Shun, on the other hand, is uneasy because his peers died for no apparent reason. Then Shun runs into Ikika, a buddy of his. Through her, he learned that this game was being played all around the campus, and, like him, Ikika is also a class winner because she had also pressed the Darumadal's button. Shun inquires, why is everything going on with them? He also advises calling the cops. However, there was a problem. The mobile phones were not receiving any signal. They then attempt to flee, but all doors are locked. Regardless, they arrive in a school place where other students are present, and they had generally dressed up as mice. Then they come across a written statement on the floor that reads, "Cat spell." The ground begins to shake, and a massive robot cat doll appears in front of them. It gradually begins to eat everyone, and all of the kids dash to and fro in an attempt to save themselves. Shun, on the other hand, discovers a ball. In addition, he notices a hoop on the cat. They might even survive if they hurl this ball into a ring. The ball is then thrown into the ring by the best basketball player. They are on the verge of winning the game, but the cat doll prevents the ball from being placed in the ring, and it tosses that ball along with that person, killing him. Seeing it, all of the students are terrified. They will be unable to win this game at this time. As Ikika collapses, the cat doll begins to eat her. Shun, on the other hand, diverts the attention of the cat doll who has arrived because Shun was dressed like a mouse, and the mouse-costumed kids were being entrapped by the cat doll. Shun then discovers that the cat doll is interacting with the mice-costumed students as well. Cat doll informs them that its back is itching and that they should all scratch it. It will not harm them if they are happy. Then that cat nods off. It's a good opportunity. Adds Shun, "I might be able to win the game by putting the ball in the hoop." But everyone was terrified. As in the Darumadal's game, only the player will survive, and the rest of them will perish. As a result, a fight breaks out between them. Cat doll is also woken at the same time. It also attacks them. To confuse the cat doll, Ikika and Shun throw two balls at it. The first is a bell, while the second is a basketball. As a result, if the cat fails to stop the bell, they may win. They are on the verge of achieving their goal. Shun is unable to toss the bell into the basket after missing his objective. They just had 2 seconds left. The school's strongest boy then arrives. He then tosses the bell into the basket, putting his life in jeopardy as a result. They are victorious in that game, and that boy's name is Amaya. Ikika is ecstatic when he sees it. Shun, on the other hand, informs her that we are still uninformed of the game's survivor. Then Cat Dolls responds, "There are 3 of you, Shun, Ikika, and the male Amaya. They are the game's only survivors, as the rest of the players have died. Creator is behind such games." Amaya reveals to Shun, "Only the most powerful people emerge victorious. We are the ones who wield this power." Then Ikika says to him, "Shun is nothing like you. He's brighter, more powerful, and more compassionate than you." Amaya is enraged when she hears it. When the knockout gas is expelled from the mouth of the cat doll, everyone loses consciousness. The country's worst state is then displayed. People are concerned about the current scenario. Then it's revealed that all of the winners have been placed in a floating cube. Many people have attempted to board it but have been unsuccessful. Then a tramp appears. As soon as he touches an inoperative radio, it begins to work. It was assumed that he was related to the game in some way. Shun confronts a girl named Takumi after he wakes up in the cube. She had been a childhood acquaintance of his, except in them there were other survivors from their school. There is also a gifted individual. On a screen, a statement is displayed. "After you've found the keys, you'll be able to leave from here." Then 4 wooden dolls appear. They inform them, only those who win the game will be allowed to go outside. They lay down the groundwork for the game's regulations, because you will be required to sit in a blinded position. We'll also perform a little song as we move around you. As soon as the song ends, you must tell the name of the wooden doll behind you. You will be no more if you give the wrong name. First, it selects that gifted individual. However, he names the wrong doll and is killed as a result. After that, it's a girl's turn. She is likewise unable to tell the correct name of the doll in the time allotted, and thus becomes a victim of them. Shun and Takumi were the only ones who remained. The dolls have picked Shun this time. They begin to stroll around Shun, giving him space to sit in the middle. As the song ends, the name of the doll is inquired about. Shun doesn't say anything at all. Then comes the voice, "Time up. Be ready to meet your end," advises the doll on the backside, "because you failed to answer within the specified time frame." Shun recognizes that doll as soon as he hears its name. All 4 dolls start laughing, saying that it's pointless to try to tell now because time has passed. Shun then informs them that his phone is sounding an alarm. Time up. He had taped the voices of the previous players who had performed there. He was leading them astray. He claims that he still has time, and he defeats them by assuming the proper doll's name. As he wins the game, the wooden dolls explode. Shun and Takumi exit the room with the answer key. Outside, they come upon another man who is in front of them, and there was a strange and enormous doll chasing him. That individual requests that they stroll hand in hand. As a result, they won't be harmed by the doll. Ikika also shows up at the same moment. They meet 2 additional boys when they enter another room. Those youngsters inform Shun that this gate requires 7 keys to unlock. However, they only have 4 keys. Amaya arrives at the same moment and takes 3 more keys. He had got there holding the hand of another boy after escaping from that doll, and as he enters the room, he slays him. They lock the doors, and then a voice says, "Change your clothes." After changing their outfits, they go to the next level of the game. On the other hand, the entire state of the city is depicted. It's on display here. Every event that took place in that cube was broadcast live across the city on the internet. It meant that everyone in the city could watch the game in real time. The 7 survivors get together and enter a freezing room. They are then confronted by a massive white bear. It tells them to win this game, they will have to answer a few questions. Whoever gives a wrong answer will be terminated. The first question is posed, and it is as follows. What is their preferred cuisine? Everyone shares their favorite foods. White Bear, on the other hand, says no, there is at least one of you who is lying. They realize he's the same youngster who was hunted by that terrifying doll after a long thinking. That boy, on the other hand, refuses to accept it. He claims, however, that he has stated the truth. However, he is killed by a white bear. The second question is, out of all of you, how many of you like Shun? Then Ikika, Amaya, and Takumi respond with a resounding yes, because they were familiar with Shun. Other 2 males from another school, on the other hand, say no, because they were completely unaware of Shun's existence. Then White Bear repeats himself, there is at least one person among you who is lying. Shun responds, these 2 questions are simple, so how could someone possibly provide the wrong answer? Then the White Bear tells him, there is someone among you who will be our partner, and he's lying to you all in order to beat you. Search for him before you're suffocated. They then suspect Takumi, a student who did not attend Shun's school. Shun confesses that she is a childhood friend of his. They, on the other hand, do not have faith in him, and as time passed, they came up with the name Takomi, but Takomi assures Shun again and over, I did not lie, I really like you. Everyone, however, ignores her, and that bear savagely murders her. Then everyone notices that Takomi's dead body is dripping with blood. She could be a robot rather than a human being because she is White Bear's mate. Shun notices it and realizes someone is telling a falsehood. He claims that there is someone who is lying. While pointing his finger at a white bear, he adds, you are the only one who is a liar, and you want to cause a schism amongst us so that we can turn against each other and kill each other. You are a liar, and that is a fact. That white bear turns black when he hears it. It implies that they will also win this game. Shun laments, however, that this game has claimed the lives of 2 innocent people. He was heartbroken by his friend's death. The 5 survivors then proceed to the final stage of their game. Dolls are delivered there. They congratulate them and say, well done, you've reached this level. They say that this game will be played amongst themselves, with no one else present. They go over the rules of the game. One will act as a devil among them, while the remaining 4 will be hidden. After looking for the 4 survivors and kicking the can, the devil will be declared the winner. He will be preserved, but the rest of humanity will perish. If someone kicks the can before devil and isn't caught by the devil, the can's kicker will then die, ensuring the safety of the rest of the passengers. He had to put his life on the line for the benefit of others. The devil is then chosen using sticks, and Amiya is chosen as a devil. The game begins with those dolls, and Amiya goes in pursuit of all 4, leaving a can behind. They've all gone into hiding. Amiya manages to capture 2 of them with ease. After overbeating them, he imprisons them. Ikika and Shun also take refuge at a location. However, Amiya also shows up. Then Ikika arrives in front of him, sparing Shun's life. Amiya also manages to catch her. Shun, Amiya says, I don't need to search you because I've apprehended 3 people, so keep your head down. It is preferable not to come out. Shun, on the other hand, was torn between 2 ideas. Either he should save the lives of others by kicking the can and sacrificing himself, or he should save the lives of others by kicking the can and sacrificing himself. Alternatively, he may save himself by letting others die. Then Ikika says, I know Shun, you're a nice guy. However, there is no need to be concerned about us, and she begs him not to go outdoors, saying, don't come outside. However, because he is armored, he comes outdoors and disagrees with her. Amiya then asks, have you come here to defeat me while wearing this armor? You will be defeated if I remove your helmet while naming you. As he succeeds in removing Shun's helmet, Amiya follows suit. Then Shun admits that being armored isn't meant to defeat him, but rather to halt him. Armored Shun then leaps into the sea. Shun and Amiya were now linked by a chain. As a result, he gets dragged along with him. Shun, on the other hand, wisely emerges from the defensive position. He is, however, seriously injured. Amiya was enslaved by a chain. Amiya succeeds in breaking the chain with his entire might and runs. Shun, on the other hand, runs in order to kick the can. Shun kicks the can between them effectively at first, and he triumphs in the game. But everyone was concerned because Shun had to die today. Shun's life is safe because the can hasn't exploded. The dolls then inform, when they arrive, they had told a fib about the can exploding. They were simply attempting to assess an open-hearted individual who is unselfish and cares for others, and they've all come out on top in this game. Then it's shown that the entire city is celebrating. They are offered ice cream by such dolls. They claim that after the celebration, they will be able to resume their normal lives, and what happened to them was simply a game. Everyone was ecstatic because they had won. They see a printed message on the ice cream sticks, indicating who is the winner or loser. While eating the ice creams, then they learn that Shun and Amiya have won the competition. These dolls also demonstrate that those with both power and good fortune have a better chance of surviving. Shun and Amiya were the ones who had it. The last 3, including Ikika, are killed, and they call the last game of luck, which both of them won. Shun is depressed, whilst Amiya is ecstatic. They are then removed from the cube. They were even dubbed legends by some, because they were the only ones that came out on top among those students. Shun was enraged rather than ecstatic. As a result, he becomes an atheist, because Creator robs him of everything he owns. His friends had been kidnapped. His classes at school had come to an end. Dolls, on the other hand, tell him that he is to blame for this thinking. Creator exists, and here is where a profound mystery is disclosed. This is the secret, as revealed by the tramp who fixed the broken radio. In fact, he was the one who was in charge of everything. He was in charge of the entire game. Shun continues to glare at him vehemently. The film then comes to an end.